of hilarity once we are actually up and going.
We are going.
And here we are. Woohoo! All right, treat her right. It is Earth Day, April 22nd, 2025, and it is the Tara Show. It is yours truly, Tara Dublin, with my partner in crime, Tara Devlin.
Yes.
How you doing, East Coast? How's it happening over there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's each day a new outrages.
Correct.
There's so many things.
Correct.
So, and I saw your friend Nancy Mace.
So many.
I was writing an article about that actually for a political. I was trying to get it up before the show, but you know how it is. It's just too many things.
I know how it is.
But
and in fact, that actually, I always make show notes before we go on the air, and she is at the top of the list of the show notes.
Good.
Can you pull up the video for those who have not seen it? It's something to behold.
It
truly is,
amazing.
because you know the term the Streisand effect.
No,
Barbara
what's
Streisand
that mean?
Okay, so it started with Barbara Streisand when she married James Brolin at her Malibu estate, and there were like helicopters above, and she posted about the helicopters above, and then more people knew she was getting married. And so it's just about when something happens that doesn't make you look good, but you blow it up to think that it's going to make you look good, but it actually makes you look worse.
Oh, wow. That's
what a Streisand effect is.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Hey, you learn a lot on the Tara Show.
Don't you just?
Right, here we go. You want to play it? You want to play this rant?
Let's set it up first. I want to set it up first because Nancy Mace recorded this video herself. She was in over the zombie chocolate bunny weekend, like any good Christian would be, in Ulta. And whatever, I don't have a problem with.
Well, I have the video of the tirade. I know, didn't she? But she posted it, right? Are you talking about the video that her response video?
Sure. In the store. She's in the. She's okay.
Yeah.
So she went to Ulta, and the video shows at the end of the aisles, maintaining a respectful distance, is a man who asks her very simply, "Are you going to be holding any more town halls soon?" And she goes off on him.
Right.
She's
so
like,
well,
why didn't you do the one last year? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And she's like, and then eventually she's the one who escalated it. Okay. He maintains for a while. He maintains a respectful tone with her. He's like, I just asked a question. I just asked when your town hall was. And then she brings in gay marriage into the discussion. And then she says, fuck you, and uses the F word repeatedly. And we talked about this a little bit on the last episode of the Tower Show on Thursday, and when I just mentioned that I missed not just courtesy in political discussion, but when sitting members of our government would at least behave in public like a respectful individual. What you do behind closed doors is up to you.
Exactly.
But in public, put on your for company face and in public, if you're approached by a constituent, your response is to maintain a respectful tone.
You would think.
In the pre-Trump era, had something like this occurred, if Nancy Mace was this person, but 10 years ago, it's very possible she would have responded differently. But now it's all about.
Well, she would have there would have been some pushback on her too. But this is what substitutes for strength in the Republican Party now.
And
being
now
an asshole.
And so basically, and she's saying he harassed her, he attacked her. He was
everyone's always picking on her. Yeah.
And is not wearing Daisy Dukes, by the way. Daisy Dukes, any American knows that Daisy Dukes are a pair of cutoff jeans.
What? That's what she said. He was wearing Daisy Dukes.
And he's just wearing like a shorter version of like regular shorts, like that
She's
men wear.
To, stoke all that homophobia.
And she brings up and he does have a little bit, like, if you're familiar with the Southern gay, which is a favorite form of gay for me. He did have, a little sass to his tone. And so she brings up the fact that she voted for gay marriage. And he's like, that's all you have to come back at with me? Like, you think my whole issue is gay marriage? And then she's like, fuck you, and fuck you. And I'm just like, all right, why would you do that? So let's go ahead and then play this. And then we'll do what follows that. So go ahead and play the video.
I have hit, where is
it? Absolute rag.
Nancy? Yes.
This is his point of view.
For the people.
Right. Look what she's wearing, by the way.
That wasn't the town. When are you going to host one this
She's
year?
in the makeup aisle.
One, and we'll have a dozen more.
The town hall you hosted this year was not a town hall. Let's be
It
real.
was a town hall, and
Oh, you
you
listen to the
I do 'em every
disdain
year.
dripping from her voice.
Look at
Are
her
you going to do any
posing.
more this year?
Look how she's posing.
Right?
I'm asking if you're going to have any more town halls this year.
Town halls last year.
I asked if you're doing any more this
They
year.
don't
It
have
was one
town
simple
halls.
question.
She hasn't had
Are you
town
doing a
halls.
town
That's the
hall this
thing.
year?
One, I'll do.
Are
Get
you
a
doing any more
15-minute
this year?
teletown hall.
Right, and with
Okay,
the
wait,
pre-screened
well, actually,
questions
we'll take
and everyone at a safe distance.
I'm just saying, it has everything to do with
You
you.
think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
do.
That's your first stance when you
Yep.
speak with me? There's no
Absolutely.
other
If you
humane
want to get in my
conversation you
face
can have about
town
me?
halls, you should have shown
There's
up
no
to
other
last
humane
year.
thing you can talk about me just saying, oh, I supported gay marriage.
Wow.
He's
That's
not
the only
in
thing
her
I can
face,
say.
by the way.
No,
Just
in
ask
her
one simple
face.
question from right over here is if you had any
Right over
plans to
here.
have more town halls this year.
I have town
That was
halls
one
every year.
question.
I have over a dozen
Okay.
every
It's
year.
That was my entire
incredible. A
question.
dozen.
Lying.
Just to be able to
Lying.
That it's just that's
Now
all
it
they
has-
have.
No,
are
no.
lies.
This is what she escalates.
Ask me about this
Here's
year,
where she
not 2024,
escalates.
But we're in
Or
a new
the
year,
year
right?
before that.
Okay,
Or the year
okay.
before that.
It was a simple question. I
because
asked
you know
if you
what?
have
Because
any
you
more that
people
you're
on the
going to
left
this year or
are
not.
Crazy.
So I'm on the left.
Absolutely
You
fucking
people on the
crazy.
left.
You're
Fucking
fucking
crazy.
crazy.
Now, here, let's just.
You're insane.
Right.
Okay,
You're
pause.
insane. You're
Hold
gonna
on.
fuck me.
I know
You're
it's a
gonna be
lot
going
of.
up so
If
fast.
you're listening audio only, it's tough.
Right, it's a lot. It's a lot, and you know when there, she also shared the video from her perspective.
Yeah, I
And
have
so
a-
if you
just
look
a
at her
clip.
Twitter. You see,
Well,
is
here's
there
her
he is.
point
He's a
of
very
view.
nicely dressed man. Those are not Daisy Dukes at all. Look how nicely dressed he is.
Yeah,
and
he's
by the
just
way,
a regular person at the
yeah,
store.
and then, so
A
she has now
constituent.
continued, right? And so she uses escalating language like, "Why are you harassing me? Why are you in my face?
Right.
Why are you doing this?" He's the one who brings in
Why are you harassing?
language. She brings in the F word. She did that, and all he
Yes.
did was continue to meet her where she took it. He met her on what she kept going low, and he was like, "All right, you want to go low? Let's go, let's go, let's go." But he never once did what she did. Like and then she decides to turn it into a performance over the week. Like she goes on Fox News and plays it for Sean Hannity. So now this man, who was simply asking a basic question, has now had his life blown up by a sitting member
Right.
of Congress. So
Exactly. Well, that's what they
that's
do, right?
targeted harassment. That is targeted harassment. It's in violation of all kinds of congressional ethics rules. And it's just indicative, just like last week when Riley Moore's comms director went after me. It's the same mentality
Yes.
that it's just as long as if I can bully you to impress Trump, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
It's basically this default setting. And then conveniently, she managed to immediately schedule a town hall, and a trans woman went up to her and asked a question, and Nancy Mace tweeted it, and she said, "My staff thought this guy was going to throw a plant at me," so she misgenders a trans woman. And then she, in the video, and this is also on her Twitter, she calls the transgender woman not transgender, not trans, calls her
God.
tranny.
Yes,
To her
that's
face,
her new
goes,
thing.
Tranny, tranny, tranny.
Yeah.
And it's so disrespectful. It is,
She's-
and she says to the man in Ulta, "I voted for gay marriage." Hey, what do you think the T in LGBTQ stands
Wow.
for? Not
But
terrific. I mean,
she's
they
a-
are
she's a
terrific.
grifter,
But that's
right.
not what it means.
Yeah, well, that was
She's
when
just
she was
another MAGA mean
pro-gay.
girl.
Yeah, she used
Right,
to be.
and she was fine with the transgender community until Donald Trump told her not to be.
Yeah,
Until
and she
learned
needed
that she would
money.
get more
That's
attention.
it. Yeah,
Right.
she's
And she has
fundraising.
learned that, right, and she has learned, like a spoiled child, that negative attention is better than no attention, and this is how she gets it. And so, on the one hand, we're feeding her
True.
endless crave, and the reason she's so starved for attention is she doesn't eat.
She's just
got
a horrible
an eating
person.
disorder.
Well, she
Yeah,
loves
but
those.
I mean, she's gone
those crosses on her. That's what I can't
right.
take about
We're
them.
all performative.
Yeah,
It's
the
all,
fake
so her,
Christianity.
Caroline, right? And so what kind of Christian verbally abuses somebody for asking a question?
Right,
What kind
just-
of
I mean-
what kind of Christian supports the wrongful deportation of a human being during Holy Week, right? So
Right.
the hypocrisy is all part of it. It's the bullying, like
Yes.
it's unnecessary,
It's so
unnecessarily.
tedious.
She went way beyond what is considered a measured response. That was not a measured response.
Measured. I mean,
considering-
that's
and how
they don't
she's
have
on-
that anymore.
right?
And measured would
No,
be
they
considered
don't.
weak to them, and they would probably get a primary from their God King.
Exactly.
So yeah.
It is so easy to just basically say, hey, you know what? I'm enjoying my day off and I'm shopping, but I would be delighted to answer your questions. I'm holding a town hall tomorrow night.
Right. Yeah.
Please join me. How hard is that? But
Right.
Nancy Mace has to be a
Act like an
vile
adult.
Q-U-N-T, because she is crazy like that.
Well,
So
you know, one of the things I was
it's
writing about,
frustrating.
is that this is what the people who vote for these maggots, that's what they're voting for, because they're not getting anything else from these people. They're getting the hate.
Yeah.
They're getting the permission to be as ugly as they are, I guess, on the inside, because, you know, South Carolina is in the toilet when it comes to any positive measure, you know, as far as poverty. They're, of course, you know, they're beating the other states. Poverty, health care. I mean, Nancy Mace votes against her own constituents all the time.
All the
So-
time. Yes. You're not
And she
serving
poisons
the low
their minds.
country. You're just
Right.
low. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's
Yeah.
terrible. She's so terrible. And so fans of the show and fans of Hal Sparks know that I have tangoed with Nancy Mace before, as I have with her comms director and the assholes who answer the phone at her office. After that performance, I'm not even going to bother to call anymore, because those dudes would have been I'm sure they would have responded very transphobically and misgendered the person at the town hall, as well as said terrible things about the man in Ulta. So instead, I just directly
so
emailed Gabrielle, the Magamine girl comms director, who of course did not respond. And I will say I maintained a respectful tone yet again. And I yet again asked, if Nancy Mace has time to do this kind of performative grandstanding, why can't she respond to a simple media request to make a statement about Donald Trump giving safe harbor in the United States to sex trafficking rapist brothers, Andrew and Tristan Tate? And I'm not dropping it. I'm not dropping that one either, because she claims to be a rape survivor, and anyone who has been anyone who has ever used the hashtag Me Too, she negates our genuine lived experiences by continuing to remain silent about not just the Tates, but Donald Trump himself and the Epstein files and all of that. You do not protect women. You do not protect children. You do not protect any marginalized community. All you do is snort Ozempic and put on these performances.
They're all disgustingly thin. They really look
terrible.
Horrible.
And
they
so
look undernourished. Yes, go ahead.
Right?
Sorry.
Right? And you know I love to bestow all of them with nicknames. So I'm calling her Hozempic.
I like it.
How do we like that one?
Hozempic.
Zempic. So I kind of went off on her. She's never going to respond to me. She probably has me muted. But anyway, I responded like, Hozempic, please.
Yes.
You know?
But it's like, she's the one that said her arm was broken because someone shook her hand and that she was walking around in a cast.
No one. And the other thing, referring to Ulta as a woman's space. No, it isn't. It's absolutely not just a woman's space. If you even go into Ulta, Ulta has a beautiful, very inclusive display of things, not just for women, but they have products for men. They have products
is that where she was?
Gender neutral. She was in Ulta. Yeah.
Ulta.
And I mean, Ulta it's just like Sephora, but it's called Ulta.
I see.
Or as my mom likes to call it, the adult candy store. My mother loves a makeup. My mother loves any makeup counter, really. But anyway, Ulta is lovely, inclusive. Sephora also lovely and inclusive. I've had people of color. I've had transgender people. I've had gay and lesbian people. I've had all kinds of people take care of me at both stores to teach me to apply my makeup or give me skincare tips, because things change. Anyway, so she's there, and she decides on Sean Hannity and in her tweets to describe Ulta as a women's space, and that men continue to harass us in our spaces. Ulta is not our space. It is a public store. Anybody can walk in.
Anybody can go into it and buy something. You could be buying something for it doesn't matter whether you wear makeup or your girlfriend, your wife.
Correct. They have lovely gift sets at makeup stores. It is not a woman's space.
Well,
it is a space
she's
for
a victim.
Everyone.
She's a victim. She's always under attack somehow. She's got to be afraid of everybody.
Right. So and now that man is getting threats from MAGA, The man from
That's
Malta
all
is
they
getting
can
threatened
do.
because
Yep.
Nancy Mace has targeted him, and that is absolutely wrong. And if I were, and now because I'm not her constituent, I don't know if I have a
It's
standing with the
crazy.
ethics committee, but I would want people in South Carolina to report her for an ethics violation because that's 100% of what she did.
Of
Now, she
course.
didn't do
Well,
it from her office, but she is
right.
continuing to harass him from her social media accounts, and those are considered official government
Yeah.
communications, which is
Right.
why she can't block anybody from Twitter accounts, whether it's her personal account or her Rep Nancy Mace account. They are not allowed to block us. Whether or not we're muted, we'll never know. She's not allowed. And so if she's harassing him from either of her Twitter accounts, that violates her congressional ethics violation. It's an ethics violation. It violates congressional policy. So people
Right.
could actually today be reporting her for that. And I hope that, I mean, I tried it with Matt Gaetz. It's not like they did anything, but they were aware. You can make them aware. And the ethics committee also, from experience, I can tell you, they will not comment on any current investigations or potential investigations that they may be opening.
No.
And maybe,
Supposedly,
and just
right. Exactly.
one day you might find out that they've been doing this, and that's one of the reasons.
You're really giving a lot of credit to Mike Johnson's House of Representatives, which
I
is
did
a
it
real
before.
free-for-all.
I did it when Democrats were in charge. Also, when Democrats were still
but I
in
mean,
power,
he's
and it
not
didn't do anything. Didn't move the needle at all.
right.
So
But he especially Mike Johnson, he is completely. He's just abdicated the entire Article 1 branch of the government to, and that's all they have left are performance. Pieces for the assholes who they're. I guess that's what she's hoping for. That the other people that she pretends to represent also hate gay people, or she's stoking up all the hate as much as she can because that's all they have. That's all she has. And she poisons their literal lives of the people she pretends to represent, but also their minds, their souls, their morality, tearing people apart. What kind of leader tears people apart?
I don't.
Right?
Donald Trump is not a leader.
That's it.
I mean, it's bad enough she was verbally abusing that man in Ulta, but that she verbally assaulted. I want to say that, basically, that was a hate crime that she committed at her town hall by calling that trans woman
I know.
a guy and a tranny, yelling tranny in her face.
I know.
And
a scumbag. What? It just makes me want to puke when I hear that.
That in and of itself, whether I don't care wherever you stand on LGBTQ issues, you should, as a human being, be able to recognize that bullying your own constituent is bad.
Right.
It's
and
bad.
Plus, trans people, this is what I always say, I'm not trans, so I know how horrific it must be just being gay, but I mean, being in the barrel now, trans people, there's over 500 bills being presented all over the country. I mean, this is less than 1% of the population. And
exactly.
But that the future, this is not they're not going to come out looking like heroes. The future is going to look back and just be reviled by these Republicans. It's not going to age well. And the more I just don't understand why they always insist on being on the wrong side of everything: decency, democracy, humanity, and history. And they
get some attention.
Right. It's just disgusting.
It is disgusting how much they enjoy their hate. They're so in love with their hate. Mm-hmm. They really do. And it's the glee in which they've been enjoying the situation with Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Right.
I mean, you cannot call yourself a Christian on Easter Sunday in one tweet and celebrate.
I know, right?
It's that man continuing to be locked up in the worst prison possible for literally no reason.
Hell on earth.
The
it's described
there.
Right.
Fuck all y'all.
It's incredible.
Anybody. Hey kids, remember, you just can't spell concentration camp without CCOT. It's
true.
Thank you.
True. Well, that's what it is, and they do their tours like Himmler, right? Their Himmler tours.
It is Easter. You are hypocritically celebrating, punch drunk Pete Hegseth tweeting he is risen. So I quote tweeted,
God,
you are drunk. Pete Hegseth does not have a job by Friday. That's Hal and I
You
talked about
think?
this extensively. Like almost the whole show yesterday with Hal was about punch drunk Pete Hegseth, Pete Keg stand, if you
Uh-huh.
will. There's no way he still has this job on Friday because
Well,
he's embarrassing
yeah.
Trump.
Yeah.
Embarrassing Trump. It's on. Like we could parse this story like the second time he fucked up with the Signal chat, and nobody should be allowed to do
Madness.
this. And if a Democrat released
Oh my
secret
God.
government attack plans over Signal, we
Right.
would never hear the end of them
And
screaming. All of
invited
that.
their spouse who has no
Biden
security
spouse
clearance.
and your
to-
brother accidentally add some reporters. Like Mike
Yes.
Waltz should be out already. Pete Hegseth has not been dragged before the Senate Intelligence or Homeland Security committees, which he absolutely should have by now. But what it comes down to, you can like get him, pop him for this, and say he's drunk, and say he's incompetent, and say he's all of the things. The bottom line is that he is embarrassing Donald Trump on the global stage with this. And if there's anything Donald Trump cannot tolerate, it's
True.
someone else making him look bad. Now,
But
he's
yeah,
okay blaming
yeah.
other people, right?
Right.
But Hegseth's behavior makes Trump look bad. And so yesterday he was saying it's not really, Trump was like, it's no big deal. Don't pay attention to it. This one's not going away.
Well,
this one is not.
You know, the difference between this maladministration and the last one is that no one has been fired yet. And the last time it was a real quick turnover. He was easily,
Right.
and readily
Yeah, that
jettisoning
revolving
people.
door.
And that's the thing. I think that somebody was, I don't remember who was talking about it, but they were saying that they're really going to try to cling to their, who they have because of what happened in the last administration. And so
Right.
I don't know. I mean, Pete Hegseth, if this con man, it wasn't embarrassed nominating him, I don't know. It's
I don't know, but, I mean-
if he has any, boundaries or standards that are going to be
No,
crossed.
it's not that.
right?
It's that we have seen that he will cave if the pressure on him is strong enough, right? We saw him back off with the tariffs. We've seen him back off in the past with other things that he's done as soon as enough public outrage or outrage from his own people has become louder than the thing that happened, right? So that's usually what they do. That's usually Trump's MO, by the way. And there's actually even a meme for it, like introduce a terrible idea, wait for the reaction,
Right.
back down / blame somebody else. Like that's the
Yes.
pattern. And then he just starts
Yep.
it all over again. So with Pete Hegseth making him look bad, like NPR released yesterday that they're already looking for his replacement. So I believe that once you see something like that, like people like a
Right.
source, a
Right.
Republican source
Yeah.
says.
It's coming.
You want to be an anonymous coward to source NPR to say that Pete Hegseth? Fine. Be a coward. Like Lisa Murkowski saying we're all afraid. Okay, then fucking do something instead of saying you're afraid. Get rid of the thing you're afraid of. Like when you have a bad dream.
Yes.
If Trump is a bad dream, you can wish him, like you can do something about it. Anyway, but in this particular situation, it's not just that Pete Hegseth is a stupid alcoholic, wife-beating white nationalist. It's that he is embarrassing Donald Trump's delicate, fragile ego. And there will come a point where somebody is going to tell him you have to get rid of him or else he's going to drag you down with him because this one's not going to go away.
Yeah, I'm sure he's mulling it over. But
Yes,
yeah.
for real. And it's a question of like, who would they replace him
Yeah.
with? Not Mike Flynn. Mike Flynn would not pass the Senate at all, not even from MAGA Republicans.
Who's on Fox
But,
News, right? That has any military anything. That might be the choice.
Is there anyone left?
I don't know.
Anyone left? I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
They got Dr. Oz. Not that he's
They got
military, but
Judge
yeah.
Janine? Maybe Judge Janine?
Has she
I don't know.
ever
No,
served
she's
in
never
units? Well, it
served, but
doesn't matter, I guess.
He was a
right?
judge. He doesn't care.
Right.
Cadet Bone Spurs doesn't
Right.
care who's
Of
in charge
course.
of the military.
Right.
He
True.
wants our military to collapse.
Yes.
He has no respect for our military. It makes him feel bad because they are truly brave and he is spineless.
Oh,
And
I
so
know.
there's a reason.
Well, they're losers and
There's also
suckers,
been-
so what does it matter?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
of course. I love when MAGA says, "Oh, you never said that." Yes, he totally did. Shut up. So and here's some new stuff that came out just right before we came on the air today. Two stories, both connected to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who can't wait for all of us to be dead, more than I think more than even Trump and Musk, Robert Kennedy Jr. wants us all dead. Now, you might recall Robert Kennedy Jr. is the weirdo who works out in jeans and no shirts, collects dead animal carcasses.
I know, jeans.
Right,
such an asshole.
He raped teenage girls, including his kid's babysitter.
Oh my God.
He drove his second wife to take her own life after she read his diary entries about his affair with the babysitter because he handed it to her and said, "Read this." He was denounced by his entire Kennedy family for
his
being
whole family
fucking crazy. Okay, the man is crazy.
This
is the man with the whale carcass.
Yeah, like who looks at a baby bear that gets hit by a car and goes yum? You know,
Let's tie it to the roof and bring it home.
Right. I'm gonna eat
the whale carcass.
Oh, I hate
the whale
him.
carcass that he and they had to drive with the windows open and whale blubber and juice and guts are flowing into the backs. Like horrible human being who somehow managed to get confirmed to lead the nation's healthcare systems, which is great. And so so he wants to create a national autism registry.
Oh no!
So
how dare you?
The government can track autistic people.
So
for
he
some
can
reason
fix the facts around the policy of what he already believes.
Well, he believes wrongfully that autistic people are like having fits in a corner and are incapable of coping.
Right.
When in fact, he claims they'll never get married, which is a lie.
It's bullshit.
That they'll never hold a job. That's a lie. That they'll never have they'll never be able to, just enjoy life like we do. Complete and total lie. And that it's horrifically disgusting and incredibly dangerous. And while they're targeting a very small segment of the population with transgender Americans, the same thing goes for people who it's a larger percentage of the population of people who live with autism. Right. And adults can function. Autism people I'm not an expert on autism, but what I like to say is I'm certainly a person who accepts people for who they are and encourages people to seek their joy. And for him to go out there and be given this platform to basically attack autistic Americans and wanting to track them, like they want to track periods.
I know. Like
and
what?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe make them wear patches and stars on their shirts.
Why? Right? Maybe I don't know. Something maybe yellow and 6-pointed for me.
That's right.
But why do you need to track an autistic American citizen? Why would you need to track an autistic child? Why do you need to know where they are? Are you going to send them to the genital inspectors as well? And whose job is that? It makes no sense. No matter how you look at it, no matter how why leave them alone?
Right.
Why?
Well, it's another
this
example.
Is not the job of the government.
I know,
right?
but these small government
micromanaging this.
Well, the small government Republicans, that when they mean what they mean by small government is as small as they are, small and petty and mal-informed and ignorant and just easily triggered, infantile. That's what they mean by small government because, everything that they're talking about is really a big government that controls your entire life. You're as free as they allow you to be within these parameters. And to make these sweeping judgments on autistic people, it just reveals what an ignorant idiot he is. That's what it is. He just reveals his own ignorance.
And it's just dangerous. First of all, our government should never be targeting any Americans who are just living their life. Domestic terrorists, sure, but not people who are just living. They are attacking people for simply existing.
Yep.
That is where we are.
And he gets to say that, right? Like that they don't have a quality of life, that they don't have he's the one. It's sort of like right out of Nazi Germany when they before
100%.
Yes, when they
because they
also
started
with the mentally
who was
they started with the mentally ill, and it was blown back on. It didn't go over well with the German people, but it was kind of the precursor to the mass extermination of everyone else.
The master race. Mm-hmm. They want everyone pure, white, obedient.
Yep.
And and they're actually floating I read some article on it. I think it was in the New York Times, some organization is floating the idea of awarding certain women $5,000 for producing white babies.
No.
Yes.
Right out of Nazi Germany. I mean, they can't help it. In
I
every
mean,
Republican chest.
Lebensborn.
Yeah. Well, it's beats every. I've said it for years, and every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. I've been saying it for years.
Absolutely.
And people have been like,
Absolutely.
"Oh, please don't." And I would say they hate democracy. They just don't like it. And people would say, "Oh, you're just
All
being
about
hyperbolic." Here we are. You
Nope.
know, I've been telling you
No.
guys. You know, I mean, come on.
They are showing us every day it is fully about control. Do not tell me it isn't when you don't let the Associated Press into the White House briefing room, but Tim Pool.
I know.
Can
Who is paid by the Kremlin? Okay, literally
He's
funded
paid
by the freaking Kremlin.
thousands in rubles per tweet. He makes
Yeah.
something like $1 million a month.
He was like,
Or
he was
something
paid
like- or
$100,000
$500,000
for a video. Every video he
Yes.
made, they would give him $100,000. Like, and he thought that, oh
I'm-
wow, I'm really great, I guess. You know,
And not only that, he didn't
no,
even,
you're a traitor.
He was allowed to. He didn't even have to go to Washington. They let him ask a question remotely. So
Oh,
now,
God.
now people like Tim Pool, Tim Cesspool, as I like to call him, he can
Mm-hmm.
just sit in his mom's basement and spew propaganda into the press briefing.
Yep.
But the AP can't go in there. The
Well,
Associated
you know,
Press
we've
can't.
talked about this before. I think all legitimate news outlets should get the F out of there, especially, you know, now.
Yeah, that's why we need a Democratic press secretary. There
Yeah.
should be a Democratic press
That's where
briefing
they should
every
go.
day.
That's where they
Everyone.
should go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, anybody who's been kicked out of the White House press room by Caroline and her granddaddy issues should there absolutely should be a Democratic press briefing every day where all press is invited. All of them. Let them all come.
Exactly. And
I don't know why they haven't done it
legitimate
yet.
press. Legitimate press should be at the Democratic press briefing, and let
Yeah.
the maggots have the White House press. I mean, they've turned it into a clown show. It might as well. Let's just go full tilt boogie, you know. And
I mean,
right?
like that woman last week from Mike Pillow's news network who said I've said that Trump has never looked better before. Shut the
That's her question. What's your secret
She said,
to eternal
what's
youth?
what's his new routine? Because he's just looking better than
Oh
ever.
no!
Oh.
I want to puke. This is so
My
embarrassing.
God.
I'm so embarrassed
he
to be an
looks-
American.
Jeez. I know, it's really just the behavior on the global stage. I mean,
Right.
Jesus Christ, J.D. Vance, fucking Pope with a handshake.
Oh, I
so
know.
you
The
know,
Pope. And they
I
hate the
mean,
Pope. I mean, please. And if Jesus came back, they'd crucify him again. So, you know, this is what we're dealing with.
Well, they deport him. They would deport
Right.
him because he was
If
known
he's
and
lucky,
from the
they
Middle
deport him. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
right?
For
Right?
real.
What about Donald Trump sharing a doctored fake photo of Kilmar's hand? Have you seen that?
I did. And there you go. Well, they
That's
put
fake.
the margaritas in
Fucking
front
fake.
of him. I know. Well, that's
All
how
of
you
that was
know.
fake.
If you're a right winger and you're supporting a party that doctors photos and tweets out lies,
Lies
just
to
you know,
you.
to justify their unconstitutional and dictatorial
Right.
fascist actions. I mean, wake the F up. Don't you know that,
Right?
you know, what your
And-
mom always said, you want to know somebody, look at their friends. Look at who he's hanging
Right.
out with, right?
Sure. I mean, but yeah. And by the way, the Pope
It's a disgrace.
dies, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, well, God's getting rid of of evil. What?
Uh-huh. Well, they hate Christian. Well, they hate Catholics.
Well,
or
I think they also hated Pope Francis because he was a really open-minded
Yes.
and more liberal for
Right.
for a Catholic pope.
Exactly,
He
yeah.
he did this weird thing where he showed humanity. I know.
I
it's
know. He followed
Yes.
some of
Yeah.
Jesus's actual teachings, and that is very
And
confusing to them.
crazy. And what's weird is that I would say, I don't care how nice you are. I'm sorry. I'm not a religious. I think all organized religions are cults, and they should at least pay taxes. The church should absolutely
know.
pay taxes. For-profit
Right.
organization,
Especially now.
for
Yep.
profit. 100% for profit. So, and it's interesting to me that Marjorie Taylor Greene would say something like that because her grift and the church's grift are the same grift.
Yes.
Call yourself a Christian. You're a Christian. Isn't Jesus the same Jesus that the Catholics worship, or do you have a different Jesus? Is there a
I
Christian
think
Jesus and
you know, there's always
This isn't
been
a
that
Lutheran-
Christian, whatever, evangelical tension. You know, the Christians are considered idolators, however you pronounce it, and, you know, they take their instructions from the Pope, and, you know, they go right to the source and all that. You know,
the
whatever.
source,
They're all,
which is the invisible sky daddy you have created.
yes,
in your brain.
exactly. Your ancient
were
book of
taught
fables.
to
Yeah.
create it, right? Because you weren't born believing anything or hating anyone, and thanks to your parents, here you are, Marjorie. You're this hateful
But it's
pile
so
of
funny,
crap.
right? How their Jesus, the only holy obligation is gay bashing. When it comes to the expressed instructions, they just throw that out the window. Welcome the stranger. I mean, there's no debating this.
Yeah.
You know, feed
I'm
the
guessing-
hungry, house the
Right,
homeless.
right?
Give
No,
your
why would
money.
you do that? Why would
Yeah,
you
I
follow
mean,
those teachings? No,
exactly.
No.
It's,
Oh,
you know, right.
I bet also that Jesus was gender fluid. I wanna
Jesus
believe
was
that.
what?
Gender fluid.
Oh yeah. Well, I think if Jesus
yeah.
came back,
Wore
he'd hang
dress.
out with the
Wore
he'd
dress,
hang out
had
with
long
trans
hair.
people. Mm-hmm.
He would. He totally would. I mean, he hung out with the prostitutes and the thieves.
He did.
And
there's a story in the Bible that scholars say was Jesus healing the gay, he was a enslaved gay boy of a Roman centurion and Jesus went over and healed him and never said, hey, this is a sin. You know, he healed the guy's, whatever it was,
Healed his
partner.
butt. Did he heal his butt? His butt? He healed his butt?
He did. He said,
don't know.
yeah,
I
go
don't
and
know.
be,
and
just keep being gay.
go love.
That's what
Go
he said.
Be, go
exactly.
Be
Yeah.
loving. And that's the whole, and that for me, like the deep hypocrisy and the disconnect between MAGA cult people claiming to be Christians. It's just like, who would Jesus deport on your resurrection Sunday? And and also it's just like, it's just all of it is so dumb to me. Like, okay, Jesus came back from the dead after 3 days, which is why we hide eggs now.
Well, it's all merged with the pagan traditions, and that's
like all of
I
it's
do a whole
going on.
thing. Yeah, because of and that's what happens. Because I'm a big history buff.
Santa Claus.
Right, and it's all
Jesus was born,
Yeah.
and now Santa Claus brings you presents, and he breaks into your house every Christmas.
Yes.
Breaks into your house and leaves you presents. Okay,
But it's
sure.
all because
That's
of
easy enough. Sure.
it's because there was a time when Christianity, the early Christians lived alongside the so-called pagans, and they basically adopted their rituals because, people like a party and they like what's familiar. And that's how we got here, especially with, Christians, and Christmas and Saturnalia. We do a whole thing on my show every year, Happy Saturnalia, instead of because that was the big Roman holiday that turned into Christmas.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Of course, well,
and many similarities, so.
Right, and they're all willing, strangely, to die for Donald Trump, and I don't understand that either. Here's another
Very
story
sad.
that came out today that's also connected to RFK Jr. So apparently, the assholes who are now in charge of, or they're dismantling the FDA, they are going to roll back protections on milk,
Oh, yeah.
on the milk supply. They're not
Right.
they're not gonna screen the milk anymore.
No,
which
and
is what
it's another.
What?
You're singing my song too, because I wrote an article
And
for the
that's
Political
fucking
Voices
infuriating.
about how they are stopping federal inspections, food inspections. Period. So it's all
Why
going
would
back to the
anybody
states.
support that? Why would anyone support something
Now
that
people
dangerous?
are gonna get sick. People are going to. eat-
That's their plan. Like, how do you not see that? Like, again, MAGA cult people. I would love to believe that they have a line where they're like, "Fuck this!" Like, I'm
no,
not
they
doing
think
that.
it's fake.
And
That's what it is. That's what what I mean.
But what I have already seen within like the first few minutes of like, I read the story, and I was like, how? Because it's not just you picking up a glass of milk and drinking it. Milk is in so many things that you eat. Like bread and cake, and milk is a major ingredient. If something is baked in an oven,
Right.
It
Like
probably
eggs.
has
Right. Exactly.
right. Like eggs, probably also has milk. interesting that they're going after all of this dairy and all of our basic foods. But like, so you're not like, if the milk supply is bad, I don't know if anybody remembers the Little Rascals, but there was this thing where they're in the orphanage, like, don't drink the milk. Why?
Yes, it's
spoiled.
It's spoiled.
Up.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
tainted.
We
Who
want.
wants tainted? Why do you want tainted milk? Why are you trying to kill?
They don't
people?
even know about it. That's
There
what
was-
it is. They're not hearing
No.
this on
Well,
Fox News.
I did. Okay, so I read this article and then I went over to Twitter and then there's some asshole MAGA person who's like, "Hey, MAGA, got milk?" Like, why do you think this is funny? And they're coming back with, "Well, this doesn't bother me because I'm drinking raw milk," which is what
Well, they're
RFK
already-
Jr. told me.
Yes.
So you're
yes.
great.
They're
I
already
can't
putting
wait to
themselves
die
at risk.
sooner
Yeah.
than you. So
Oh, good.
raw
Let
milk
them.
is
Let them. I
not-
mean,
not-
they're
right?
doing us a
Raw
favor.
milk is not been pasteurized, so it could be full of deadly bacteria.
Exactly.
You could get all kinds of things that could be in your unpasteurized foods,
It's
unpasteurized
really
eggs,
crazy.
unpasteurized milk. It's a one-way ticket to food poisoning, but if you're food poisoning, if it's that bad, like ptomaine is bad, and if you drink unpasteurized milk and you just like let it sit, like you will die. Eventually you will die if you drink food that's filled with unhealthy
Yeah.
bacteria.
Pathogens,
There's a reason
bacteria.
milk-
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, like it's bad enough people are not vaccinated against measles in 2025,
Well-
but if you are willfully putting poison
Yeah.
like that into your body, I'm just like, what?
And this is
Like-
a new thing to own the libs. These maggots, they're drinking unpasteurized milk as a political
Well, good luck
statement to
owning me
own
when
the
you're
libs.
dead.
I know,
It's so
just like I
fucking
guess
stupid,
the
isn't it?
vaccinate, not taking any vaccinations is now a new
It's the dumbest.
rallying
It
cry.
is the
Mhm.
fucking dumbest. And that's I'm looking at my Twitter really, really quick because of the idiots who are coming back. Here's
Uh-oh.
another thing. Besides the milk, is you would drink your fucking raw milk so that I don't have to deal with you. But here's
Right.
another thing that's happening. Education Department says it will begin collection on student loans for over 5 million borrowers in default. So that means that the good stuff that Joe Biden did to alleviate student loan debt has been negated by jealous, petty asshole Donald
Yep.
Trump. So,
Well,
thanks,
he's got to
thanks,
get
MAGA.
paid for those
Way to
tax
go.
cuts. Yeah, they're cutting everything. They're cutting
Right?
jobs. They're cutting services, but they're not doing anything. They're not increasing any revenue. That's for sure. And they're
No.
taking whatever, this is just basically profiteering. So they're going to have to get their tax cuts somehow. They're for the rich. That's all they're doing, is entrenching
It's
oligarchy.
Yeah, but it's so frustrating because it's like you hear a story like that and it impacts Republicans just like it
Yep.
impacts Democrats. Just
I
like the
know.
milk thing, just like the vaccination thing, just like everything.
Yeah,
right?
because
It's
we're
not
all
just
connected.
Democrats and liberals who are going to suffer. It's not just people on the left who are going to
And
suffer.
the whole country.
from-
Right. They're setting us up for
And the
failure.
people-
This is the point.
Right.
They're-
And the people who support him are like, no, we're delighted to help him dismantle
you-
our democracy.
well,
We
you know
don't
what
care
they-
if we die in the process.
It's because they're always dividing people. When Joe Biden was canceling student loans, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to have to pay for somebody else's. I didn't have a student loan and all this." And I remember
Right.
doing something. I wrote something about.
about.
Yeah, like, and some maggot went after me. It was like, "Oh, you mean that we should pay for your student loan?" And I said, no, actually, I paid my student loan off, but I'm not a selfish bitch, and I'm not dumb enough to understand. I mean, I understand. I'm smart enough to understand that this is about investing in the future, that we are creating nothing but indentured servants to banks. And just because I had to pay it off my student loan, I don't live in a world where it's like, oh, everybody has to do exactly what I did, have the shitty opportunities I had. I want it to be
No.
better for people. That's what it means to
Yeah.
be, a patriot and not a selfish, sociopath. They just can't see
Right.
past their own eyelashes, these people, and it's
No,
really
no, they
killing us. Yep.
It is, and it's frustrating because, like, again, when you what we're talking about when we talk about like the milk supply and the vaccine,
Yep.
all of that, and that has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with just basic
Yeah.
humanity. Right.
Well,
and it also
yes,
and
yes.
it is yes, and it's also a way to circle back to the transgender issue, which is no government should be micromanaging anybody's individual body.
I know.
And right, and I mean,
Well, it's about annihilating them. It's symbolic
right.
annihilation. Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that transgender people spend about 0 minutes of their lives worrying about a heterosexual person's body. They don't care.
Of course.
Right? They don't care what you're doing with your body, so why should you care? What another person's body has nothing to do with you. It's your hang up. It's you being the problem. And that's always my argument when like the J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling celebrating the ruling about how trans women can't participate in sports. She
excluding
posted a picture
people
of herself, like, and that, like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how awful to squander. Like, she made millions and millions.
I
Countless
know.
people have.
What a horrible person.
And she does that. She does that, and then people are like, she doesn't hate all trans people. She just doesn't want trans women being in spaces where they don't belong. And
what
it's like,
spaces?
Who are you to decide where
human spaces,
belongs?
you fucking bastards. I mean, it's like, it's so pathetic, really, the way the hate.
I don't know about you, but I have never once been threatened by a trans person.
Not
ever.
At all.
I've never been threatened while I was in a women's bathroom, whether I was in a bar, whether I was in a locker room, whether I was in college. Yeah. I have never been threatened by a trans woman. I've been threatened by heterosexual cis women. I've also been threatened by cis men. Never a member of the trans community.
That's right.
There's no reason to fear. And what's frustrating, every single person who's acting transphobic right now, like Nancy Mace has been around trans women her entire life and has no idea.
And she knows,
has no idea.
You're right. But she
whether
knows
you
better.
know it or not.
But
it's not even. It's about othering and scapegoating, and it's very Hitler.
That's why it's evil, because they know better. You think that Nancy Mace really cares? I don't think so. She's doing it because it's making her money. It gets her attention.
She says, like, everybody, can you just, like, if you're still doing Twitter, I would love for you just to go to Nancy Mace's account and just write, fuck you. Just like, because that's, like, it's her favorite.
It's her favorite, right? Yeah, that's it, right? They all
loves it, right? And also what that does is it gives us the freedom to mirror what she's saying, right? Because, like, she brings that into the conversation. You can mirror that. And just, it's a crazy, crazy time. And one of the things that no one is talking about, because I guess I don't know if anyone's going to be going, this Saturday, aside from being my birthday, which we'll circle back to in 1 second, this Saturday is the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And traditionally, that's been like a major event every year. Normally, like a Democratic president will attend. Republican presidents in the past have attended, but it always hasn't gone well. Donald Trump never goes. Ever since he was insulted at the 2011 White House Correspondents' Dinner, which is why he ended up running.
He's so fragile.
Right. But they are still having the White House Correspondents' Dinner this year. It is on Saturday, but they removed the featured comedian, Amber Ruffin. Great look for you to remove a black woman at this time in history, by the way. But that they're not having a featured comedian at all for the first time is really, really telling, because they're just so worried, I think, about what the official response from the White House would be if a comedian got up there and roasted Trump, as would be their job. They would roast Democrats as well as Republicans. But of course, they're so short-sighted that they can't even do that. So it'll be interesting to see who is it going to be just like Steve Bannon and Mike Pillow and a couple of people from Fox sitting around eating a Happy Meal with no toy in it?
I mean, what's the point? Right. Why even have it?
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, the point of having it is that we at the Political Voices Network get to do some fun counter programming. And I don't know if everybody saw, but it's official. We sent out the video yesterday. John Fugelsang, our beloved fearless leader, will be hosting not the White House Correspondents' Dinner this Saturday night on the Political Voices Substack and YouTube. You can watch the pay-per-view by going to MeetHook, which is MEET hook.live. And yours truly will be hosting a live pre-show. And what's great is that we're going to be doing this Saturday night right at 5:30, starting at 5:30 Eastern time. And we've actually got a really great lineup. I don't know if you've seen the full lineup yet, the full lineup for Saturday night, you'll see some familiar faces from Political Voices. You'll see John, you'll see Hal, you'll see Frangela, you'll see me in the pre-show. But then I want just like check out this lineup. I'm gonna read this to you real quick. Alonzo Bowden, Frank Conniff, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, Allison Gill, who you may know as Mueller She Wrote, JoJo from Jers, Brian Karam, Glenn Kirshner, Dean Obadala, and if that wasn't enough, we also have as special guests Elaine Boosler, who's lovely, and the liberal redneck Trey Crowder, who, oh my God, like I'm mostly dead inside because of menopause, but Trey Crowder reminds me that I used to once have an active libido. God, he's so funny. He is so funny and super cute, and we're going to have all of them on our, not the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night. It's a big $20.26 for the pay-per-view because we're looking forward to 2026. Again, the pre-show will start at 5:30. I'm going to be interviewing John and Frangela and Hal, but we're also going to have some special guests during the pre-show. So I hope everybody joins us for that. Also, as I mentioned, Saturday is my birthday. And we're still allowed to celebrate birthdays in the United States of America. So while we're doing that, I would ask for people to, like, usually I just ask for world peace, or on Facebook they let you start like a fundraiser for your birthday.
They do?
But with this being, yeah, you can do a birthday. Hey, look, it's the sound of settling. Bum, bum. Did you check your mail yet, by the way? Because I sent you something in the mail.
I did actually, but I never got anything. Now that you're saying this.
It was a small envelope that I mailed to you.
Huh.
It a week and a half ago.
Arrived. Did you have the right address?
Maybe it's in a file. I copied it from the box.
I didn't see it. Oh, shit.
Oh man. All right. Well, when we get off the air, text me your address.
All right.
Anyway. This has been a really hard month for a lot of us, right? April is the cruelest month, said T.S. Eliot. So it's been a rough one. I mean, we marched last Saturday, which gave me, an extra mood boost, and we're going to be marching again on May 1st. It is Taurus season. I am as Taurus gets. I am everything about a Taurus and then some. But what I am really right now is struggling. So the book sales have really declined since mid-January. Weird, right? So you can get the book at tarotdublinrocks.com. There's also an audio version now. Or if you want, you can just buy me a birthday drink by dropping a couple of bucks into my Venmo, which is just Venmo/TarotDublin. Or sign up for a paid version of my Substack at tarotdublin.substack.com. That would satisfy my birthday wishes for this year, because I'm not going to get world peace. So I usually ask for world peace. Last year on Facebook, I raised a few $100s for a charity that cleans up our oceans. That's very important to me. As it is Earth Day, you can still make a donation to an ocean charity in my name. Awesome. Great.
That's nice.
But anyway, participate is what I'm asking for. I'm just asking for everyone to, it's my birthday, and it's the one day you're allowed to be selfish is your birthday, right?
I hope so.
So selfishly.
It should be birthday week if I have anything to say about it.
I mean, birthday month, really. Birthday month is what people do. But I did on my own Substack. I wrote about it being birthday week on my Substack. And just, I don't need huge things, right? I'm not greedy. I'm needy. And it's more about, just if I can make my rent every month, awesome. If I can feed me and my cats every month, great.
Yes.
I don't need Elon money. It'd be great to have it, because then I could do good things with it.
We would.
I just asked,
would do great things.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for sure. And here
We'd
we are.
Have a friggin' daily show, that's for sure. So.
I would have a book deal, and we would be adapting this into a streaming series already. And if Soros already would just kick me down my billions of dollars in checks already, I'd be on that. But anyway, we're just one thing that is so great about what we do at the Political Voices Network is just support each other so well.
Right.
We have the best viewers and fan base ever. Like the people, like the sparklers who hang out with Hal every time are amazing, and the people who come in and hang out in our chat, we're so great. Thank you to Jim, our moderator.
I know, he's amazing.
Thank you.
He never takes a day off. Never vacation.
He says he didn't get a small envelope either. Hey Jim, if you buy a copy of my book, and give me your address, I'll send you something in the mail. Also,
did I check Christy Nome's purse? Yeah, maybe she could have run off with it.
Yeah, no, I feel really safe that if Kristi Noem can't even hold on to her Coke money,
Right.
how
Her
are we gonna
$3,000 of like, what
who
are you
walks
doing,
around
lady?
with 3 G's in cash? What are you doing? I have never had that much cash on me, so
You don't need that,
I'm assuming.
especially with your phone now. You can pay with your phone and all that, but whatever.
But
She's you know,
but when
a
you
woman of
buy
the
street
people.
drugs in an alley,
Right.
if you're buying Coke off the streets, I mean, I don't know what the street value is for fentanyl these days, but I bet it isn't cheap.
I guess
So
right.
she's
Well, Elon
absolutely-
Musk can
she's
hook her up
absolutely
with
taking drugs.
ketamine.
Right.
Oh yeah,
But
he's
she's
ketamine.
on.
Right.
I bet she got hooked on painkillers after she got her Ivanka facial surgery.
I don't doubt it. And she had all that teeth done, that teeth work that she
Oh
did. That
yeah.
friggin',
Oh man.
That's not
She has
painful. I mean, that's
she has
painful and that's not
opioid
cheap.
rage.
She probably
No,
and she because
opioid.
she's got those dead eyes too. You know, they all have
yeah.
dead eyes. That's one thing I've
Lifeless
noticed.
eyes.
Don't you know? I mean,
Doll's eyes.
they all have dead eyes. And in fact, I was going to put this up on the political voices. Let me see if I have the Nancy Mace.
Oh yeah.
Dead eyes.
Hey, and also I have to go to court tomorrow too. I have
Oh,
to go to
no.
traffic court.
What?
So, you guys, I'm so sorry. I wasn't
Oh, yeah.
speeding, by the way. I was not speeding. It was a rare occasion at the end, and I didn't get the ticket till the beginning of April. It's just like, fuck, thanks so much. But it happened on the last day of February.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
driving.
I didn't mean
and
to do that.
Joyless smile. A dead eyes and joyless smile is true. Okay, so but here's my story. I am actually going to physically go to traffic court tomorrow to try to plead down the ticket because what happened was it was a rare sunny day in Portland, Oregon. It was about 4:30 in the afternoon when I was driving, and the sun was right in my eyes. And the photo of me on the summons, I'm wearing my sunglasses, the visor is dipped, and I'm like,
Oh wow!
I was like,
so you
I-
could see
I could
yourself
not-
squinting in the photo that they send.
I mean, I'm wearing sunglasses, but my face is like my face is not a happy face. And so
Right.
what happened was the worst drivers in the world live in Portland, Oregon. They don't know how to merge. They were never taught the zipper merge. They have no idea what they're doing. They're overly
boy.
polite. They can't do a four-way stop, as was parodied accurately on Portlandia. That is 100% accurate. It still happens. They can't count to 4. Anyway, so what happened was the sun is in my eyes because I'm driving into the setting sun, and there's a line of cars in front of me. And what happened was the light was yellow and I couldn't tell, and I was just going with the flow of traffic down the road, and then the light turned red as I was in the center of the intersection. So it's either I stay in the intersection so I'm not running the red light, so
yeah.
I would block all traffic, or I continued to go. And thankfully on the summons, I was not speeding. I was not even 1 mile over the speed limit. So I wasn't gunning it. I wasn't trying to beat the light. I was just stuck. And it was either stay stuck or move.
No,
And
you
I
had to
would
go through.
love to
You had no
believe-
choice.
I had to go through, and if there was a cop nearby, I'm sure that they wouldn't have even noticed because I was in the flow of traffic, and there was another car behind me. So I had literally no choice. And so I'm just hoping that if nothing, and it's a $270 ticket, $270 just a handful of days before I have to pay rent. I just can't do it. And so if nothing else, I'm hoping that they will at least reduce the fine, but it is worth it to me to physically go down to the courthouse tomorrow morning and be like, this is literally what happened. I will pay better attention in the future, but I literally had no choice in the moment. I'm a good girl, I swear.
No, they'll
But it's-
reduce it in the very least,
do
but
I
they should
need to?
dismiss it.
Do I need this added frustration at
No.
a time where I'm already like my skin is constantly on fire with frustration as we're watching all of this happen in front of us, and it's my job to pay attention and talk about it and write about it, and it's kind of hard for me to shut off my brain once we've gone through the day, but I want to be able to look forward to my birthday on Saturday without anything being in the way of it, and I can't.
Right.
So
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
Well, maybe if you're going tomorrow,
Maybe.
hopefully it'll be settled by then.
It'll be settled either way. I'll either pay hopefully a reduced fine or no fine.
No, they're gonna
Usually
reduce
I
it.
have-
In the least, I'm telling you.
I've been told that if you would even just show up, they're like, okay,
Yes.
well, you showed up.
They do
And the
reduce it.
closing music is already playing. Jeez Louise. Anyway, so we will be. Hey, thanks everybody for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank
on
you, guys.
This is literally the fastest hour of
Isn't it
political
insane?
podcasting anywhere. Isn't it? So everyone remember, sign up for Devlin's Substack. Sign
I
up for
hope
my
you do.
Substack. Buy my book. if you send me $25 on Venmo with your address, I will send you an autographed copy of The Sound of Settling.
Nice.
And
nice.
remember, we will be back here on Thursday. Same Tara time, same Tara channel. And I'll be able to tell you what happened in traffic court.
Yes, that's
Woo!
very good.
There's
And
something-
send
if you have
good
nothing else
vibes,
to look
please.
forward to, please send good vibes or money so that I can pay the teacher.
Right, or money. Jesus Christ, right? What am I talking about?
I
F
prefer
the vibe. Send the
prefer the money.
fucking cash.
Fuck you, pay me. Fuck you, pay me. That's
See ya
that's-
soon.
well, anyway, every single
right,
person who was
guys.
here, I appreciate you so much.
Yes,
Take care
we
of yourselves. and we'll
appreciate
see
you.
on Thursday.
Tell your friends and, all that stuff. So become a patron, all that,
Support-
political voices,
Support
Substack.
media.
We have
All of us.
We stick together, we win. I'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.